He's a baby.
No, I'm not.
Hi!
Hello, and welcome to Warp 9 Wrap-Up, the Take 2, that is. We
didn't record.
We forgot to hit record the first time, but it's luckily we didn't really start. You're here too, man.
I'm the one that pointed out, reminded you.
Right.
I even double-checked as you were clicking everything and saying hello to make sure
But once again, a proper co-host would have noticed before I started talking, but instead you were over here like, oh, bro.
My shoulder hurt. Okay,
my shoulder's so swole, bro, from working out, bro. I mean, tell you, man, I got my pump on, and bro.
I don't talk like that.
You will. You just wait and see. Just like everybody else who starts working out, they never shut up about it. Just the way it is. But anyway, though, we're here for comics, not your lifting, bro.
Not
your lifting,
this?
bro. What? It's on the. Isn't that how you guys do it?
No.
You guys lift. You know, you lift.
No.
Lifting,
and I wasn't
bro?
even lifting.
Getting your pump, bro.
No.
No. All right. I've never been to a gym in my life, as you can tell. Just naturally swole. Anyway, though, welcome to Warp 9 Wrap Up. This is the only show on the internet that talks about comics and toys and collectibles and stuff.
The only one.
The only one. It's never been done before in the history of the internet.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope.
I'm Dan. That's Tristan.
Hi.
We're going to talk about some stuff, especially like toys and comics and whatnot, live from Warp 9 Comics. Yeah.
I think you said that enough.
What, toys and comics?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make
what
sure
do we
people
do
know.
again?
I think it's toys and comics, but I'm not
Something
really
like that.
sure. But we're also going to talk about one other thing today and bring out those bad boys just because we like to just point out whenever we get these. We got the new Pokemon set in. We do sell Pokemon here. This is the, what is this? Ultra Prism set, right? Sun and Moon Ultra Prism.
Yes.
Once again with this set, they are doing two different kinds of Elite Trainer boxes because they're doing Sun, they're doing Moon. Kind of to coincide with the 3DS game that they did. These little Elite Trainer boxes are really great, especially for anybody who's new. Don't go too close because it's going to darken everything really crazy. We're trying something different with the camera because it's been like really bright lately. I don't know what the problem is. I think we just need to get some real lighting. But anyway, these things come with 8 packs and got like sleeves and all sorts, anything that you need if you're getting into collecting or you're getting into playing the game. Really cool little set. They added these things called Prism cards where there's like a little different holo foil in them. I've seen a couple of the cards. They're super awesome. And there's a few cards in that set that are worth a lot of money already. So, yeah, if you're looking to get into Pokemon, great set. We do have packs here available. All of our packs at Warp 9 Comics are $3 for $10, otherwise $4 a piece. And then the card guy, Mr. Jody, has these for $36. No tax, because he pays the tax for you. So you won't find a better deal than that at Target or Walmart or anything because, they suck. So, yeah, we always like to say, hey, new Pokemon.
Woo!
Catch them all.
I had a kid
all
come in today and beeline for the Pokemon cards. He pulled all the ones he wanted off the shelf and he came right over the counter and put them down.
Glasses? Heavier set kid?
No.
Oh, okay. Cool.
He was a sweet, quiet little blonde kid.
Oh, yeah. All right. Always getting new kids in here. That's great. Had a kid in the other day. He works at one of the restaurants down the street, and whenever he gets paid, man, he's like, new set comes out, and he drops some money. He loves his Pokemon. Are we out of that set then?
Not completely, but we're getting
close.
close.
Hey, it's been popular.
Woo!
Anyway, from Funko's little rock candy line. Fun little figures. They're very affordable. They're just like the Pops, and they're like right around $11. I like these a little better than the Pops as far as like figurines go, just because they put a little bit more into the design. That's just me. I know, it doesn't like Pops. Oh, blasphemy. Pops are so 2 years ago, man. But anyway, rock candy, they're doing them for the Bombshells line, which is going to be popular. That's Batgirl, which I absolutely love, and of course Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is one of the most popular characters in the Bombshell design.
Yes.
So I'm hoping this thing takes off because I want to see more of these. There's a bunch
I like them a lot.
Yeah, a bunch of women in the Bombshells line that I would love to see. So we'll have to see if it catches on. You never know. If stuff doesn't sell, they just don't make anymore.
You know
is what it is.
Which Bombshell I would really like to see in this? Vixen.
Vixen? You're in the dress?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I always thought that one and the Catwoman. I thought the Catwoman one is super insulting. The statue they did.
I don't like the Catwoman one.
It's her sitting there being a secretary.
Yeah, I don't like the Catwoman one, but
I was like, I think they're missing the point of the Bombshells.
Yeah. Did you see Vixen's dress though?
No, don't get me wrong. It's super
awesome.
fancy, but it's just I don't know. It never really made me think of Vixen, where it's like she's got this awesome totem and she's a badass and she's there in a fucking ball gown. Like, all right.
I could kick ass in heels and a ball gown.
Well, it's more of a fighting dress for you, right? Just like in Ruby.
Yeah, it's a combat skirt.
Combat skirt. There you go. I was trying to find it. I couldn't remember what it was. A combat skirt. Yeah.
Combat skirt.
Watch Ruby. It's on Rooster Teeth. You can watch it for free. We're big fans of that at the show here.
I love it.
Ruby.
It's my favorite. I dyed my hair red because of Ruby.
Uber fandom. Yes. Caster and Ruby. Whoever does the casting stuff for Ruby. I don't know who does it now because Ono's dead. I know. Heart hurts. Anyway, Artifacts Plus Kotobukiya. We've talked about these statues before. They're a little bit on the pricey side at $70, but I can tell you the detail is absolutely amazing. This is Reverse Flash from the Flash TV show. One thing I did not know about when we ordered these, as you can see from the picture there, it comes with batteries and the eyes glow, which I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody I told that to was like, what? I was like, yes, exactly. Only had one guy buy one so far, and unfortunately he's an inbox collector, so I'll never know what it looks like because unless I get my own, which I'm really leaning on possibly getting my own.
Because that's so cool.
But this is about $70. They've been doing a great job with this line. They've already got the Flash. They've got Green Arrow from Arrow. So I'm hoping they do some more, just especially with the villains. If they do a Zoom, take my money. I will fire it out of a cannon at Kotobukiya because I need that Zoom, man. Because I love Zoom stuff. So, yep, Reverse Flash, $70. It is considered kind of like an import, but I can tell you, man, one of the better statues you will ever own, and it's PVC, so if your cats knock it over, it ain't going to be a problem, because, cats can be kind of stupid. Speaking of imports, we've talked before about SH Figuarts here. We love SH Figuarts here. Just absolutely adore it. From Bandai. Highly posable figures. This is Sailor Jupiter.
It's Super Sailor Jupiter.
My bad. You were exactly right. Super Sailor Jupiter. We have the Sailor Moon as well for these figures. We've had that for a little while. We don't normally carry a lot of anime stuff, but, we like to have a little something for everybody if we can. And the Sailor Moon Pops sold really well for us, so we try to have little Sailor Moon things. We just don't go crazy with it. But this figure comes loaded to the gills, man. It's got lots of little things to change out her hands and add stuff. It's right around $60, which is the typical price for most SH Figuarts that aren't anything Marvel or Disney based, because for some reason they gotta charge $25 more whenever it's Marvel or Disney based. Seriously? Which is really dumb. But if you are a collector, or because Valentine's Day is coming up, a collector who really wants something serious, Sailor Moon, it can be hard to find stuff because it's import things and most people don't put money into it, especially at comic book stores. This is your jam because they can pose it and do all sorts of stuff from the TV show.
It comes with the little kind of power energy balls and the beam that she has above her head, so you can actually do the full on power poses. And
look at that!
Really cool.
She plays with her balls right for you. So I mean, it's fantastic for all you weirdos out there. One thing from SH Figuarts, we did not get this, but Dan got this for himself because we couldn't get this through our normal distribution. I had to go through a third-party kind of thing. But this is so great, and I'm getting more of these. SH Figuarts King Mickey from Kingdom Hearts. The great thing about this, for it being such a small figure, it's so posable. His little arms and hands and stuff, everything is so posable. And it comes with a few different heads. One with his hood down, where he's, looking like Mean Mickey. He's going to bust up your hood and steal your money. Otherwise, you got Happy Mickey, and then you've got Mickey who's kind of looking off in the distance a little bit. And you can put the hood on both of those as well because of the way that they build it. It's so rad.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It normally retails for right around $65, or I think probably closer to $70 because it's Disney. I got mine for a little cheaper because I'm a person who knows people. But, man, they're also doing the Goofy and the Donald. They already did the Sora, but, I mean, let's face it, I just want the Disney guys. I'm not really, Sora, whatever. I play you on the game. That's enough love for you.
If they start doing the Organization 13 characters, I want Demix.
I'm hoping they do more because they've got a lot on tap. And with Kingdom Hearts 3 coming, I would imagine that they're going to do more. But I have the Donald and the Goofy on pre-order, too, and I just cannot wait, man. These things are so much fun. I just had to show that off. Like I said, it's not something for you guys. It's just something for Dan.
He just wants to rub it in your face.
Sip my tea.
You want this? You can have it.
With my pinky up. Anyway, have you ever had a problem wherever you go when you have books and you have roommates and roommates knock over your books or your DVD collection? Here's the thing. You can threaten your roommate with murder when you have Punisher bookends. They see this shit holding up your DVDs, they're going to think twice because of, the murder. So the great thing is that you can have these bookends, which are heavy duty and whatnot, and will threaten,
they are.
your significant other with murder. And they're from Gentle Giant, so they're a little bit pricey though. They'll set you back right around $60, but they're super cool, and they're Punisher, and it shows off your Punisher love while protecting your DVDs or books.
Woo.
What else do you need, folks? I mean, come on. Are we done?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, we got something really cool. So, as you know, we get Hot Toys here. We enjoy our Hot Toys. Hot Toys are fun. What we got for Hot Toys this week, really fun. This is one of the better ones they've made. It's the homemade suit Spider-Man from Spider-Man Homecoming. This guy sets you back right around $220. I think the thing opens, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yes, it does. Opens. But I'm showing the packaging first.
Oh yeah, the packaging is always badass. So if you know anything about Hot Toys, or even if you don't know anything about Hot Toys, these are like the creme de la creme, man. They're bigger figures. They absolutely can pose every which way but loose, and probably loose if you want them to. But everything in there is actual cloth. It's actually, hand stitched kind of sewing, and it's got multiple hands, and also the head from the actor who his name is escaping me.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Thank you for that.
I almost want to buy this so I have a mini Tom Holland.
So you can make out with it or something?
No.
That's weird, man.
So I can admire his beauty.
That's weird. You're weird.
You're weird.
No. Yeah, your first day? Like I said, it's set you back right around $220, but if you are a Spider-Man fan, it's an absolute must-have. And I don't know why they did the homemade suit before they did the regular suit, but hey, is what it is. Because I would have preferred they might have done this one afterwards, but I think they were thinking they might not move as many. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a damn if you do. Because I got a lot of people who were like, "Oh, that one's really cool, but I really wish you had the other one." It's like, well, we will have the other one eventually, but it's not out yet. So, but
this
like I said,
first.
$220 plus tax. Things are dope. You should get yourself some Hot Toys if you're a real collector. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Step up your game, son.
Real collector.
Speaking of real collectors, this is something that we had in the store a long time ago, and we just got it back in stock, and I can tell you right now, we don't have them anymore. This one already sold too. I had 2 of them. They were gone within inside of about 5 minutes. This is the Megatron. It's the one that turns into the gun from Transformers Masterpiece. The difference is, though, this is the Japanese release. Ours didn't come through Bluefin. Ours didn't come through anywhere else. This thing came straight from Japan to here through our import guy. Like I said, we had 2 of them prior. They went super fast. I knew 2 of them were coming again, and let's just say making friends with Dan's always a good idea because, certain people I will text and be like, "Hey, I'm getting this. What do you think?" And then they'll come and get it. So you should really praise me.
Always be nice to Dan.
Praise me.
Unless you're
Praise
mean.
be to Dan.
I'm allowed to be mean to Dan.
Yeah.
You're a turd nugget.
All good, man. You're doing the show for free, so you can call me whatever you want.
Yeah.
The cool thing about Transformers Masterpiece, where are you going with that? I'm not done yet. This is basically like getting a brand new G1 Megatron, okay? They do a really, really nice job with these. Most serious Transformers people already kind of know that. And they're going to go at me and be like, well, the third-party stuff was, Cool, third parties are great. We don't carry third parties because there's no way for us to make any money off of them. And we also don't carry third parties, so a lot of times it's dicey with the license, and we can't mess with the legality side of things. So yeah, if you're serious, I can tell you right now, these things just hit the States. I would get one if I were you. Do not wait for another re-release because this is the re-release. They will not be doing this again anytime soon, okay? And they will not be doing American releases of these because technically with the gun, you will not find these on the shelves at Toys R Us. It can't happen. It won't happen. Hasbro would never allow it. So just so you know, if you see them on the internet, I can tell you right now, they're going to start rising in price very, very quick. This one's already $285, and they're just going to keep going up. Eventually, they'll be closer to $5. So if you're thinking about getting one, get one as soon as you can because it is absolutely the dopeness. We love it. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. You want to kick off the comics?
What comic should I start with?
I'm going to the Marvel stuff.
Okay. So, you want me to talk about... Okay. Well, our pick of the week this week was X-Men Red.
Duh.
Because why not?
Jean Grey's back.
Woo!
She is the normal Jean Grey now. I guess is the way to call her.
And
she's told the Phoenix
original?
the original. She told the Phoenix to get bent So we don't have the Phoenix power thing hanging over her head anymore. It's finally just going to be about Jean.
Yes.
And she's decided to lead her own team. And the people that she picked out for her team is pretty interesting.
Yeah, but I am happy with the lineup. Should I say kind of the idea of the lineup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's not really spoilers. It's, you know, I mean, it is kind of the whole book, but everyone's seen the artwork at this point. Everyone kind of knows what's in the team. But
So,
it's very, very cool.
her lineup is herself as Jean Grey, Nightcrawler.
Jean Grey as
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey in a Jean Grey film.
Nightcrawler, Namor, Wolverine, and Honey Badger, which, if you're familiar with the all-new Wolverine line, is Gabby, who is a clone of Laura, who is a clone of Logan, which...
They consider Wolverine their dad, and
Yes.
they consider each other sisters.
Yes.
That's kind of how it works. If you haven't been reading the all-new Wolverine book,
Shame on you.
what's wrong with you? So
good.
there are a couple more people that are actually going to be on the team.
Yeah.
It's just this is kind of the start, the kickoff team. The interesting thing that's going to happen with this is that Jean recruited Namor because she wanted some FaceTime with the United Nations, and she couldn't do that to represent mutant kind without being a nation, because they're not recognized because they are just a race.
They are a species,
Right,
not
and-
even a race.
And she didn't think that was fair, so Namor and Black Panther backed her up and allowed her a chance to speak. And it's really interesting. It's getting back to basics with the X-Men of, you know, fighting for a world that hates and fears them. Very, very cool. And the fact that Namor is going to be on this team, you know that's going to lead to some friction. Because Namor doesn't usually take orders from anybody.
But I like that.
Yeah, me
I
too.
like that he's going to be on this team.
And what's the over-under on Jean Grey and Namor getting together, or Namor trying to get together, because he loves strong, powerful women.
Yeah.
Man. He loves women that boss him around and tell him no. He's been chasing after the Invisible Woman
Let's be honest, though.
forever.
At this point, Jean Grey just needs somebody better than Scott Summers.
Not according to her. She's still all about that Scott Summers crap.
I personally can't stand Scott Summers.
Yeah, he is who he is, man.
He's
You
a
know,
turd
young
nugget.
or old, he's just boring.
He's a turd nugget.
He's just boring. Hey, whatever, Cyclops, get 2 eyes.
With this one, it's a little, I will say that, like, when you kind of start getting into it, not a lot happens right away, but when you realize what kind of is going down, what she's talking about, because they won't tell you what her plan is, that's when it starts getting really good, and I think it's a beautiful starting point for this.
It also
X-Men run.
sees the return of a major villain.
Yes.
We're not going to tell you who, because it shows up on the last page, but it's kind of a big deal. Whenever this villain shows up, Havoc. That's not Havoc, obviously.
Not Havoc.
But the verb Havoc happens. Yeah.
Can't be like, the apocalypse is gonna go down, because
Yeah.
there's apocalypse.
Crap.
Oh no.
Oh, did I screw that up?
And then you can't be like Havoc. Wrong.
Yeah, there's a Havoc. Yeah. They don't own all the words, okay?
So
They
frustrating.
don't own all of them. Apparently they do. All right, Tom Taylor is the writer. We heart Tom Taylor. He's like one of our favorite people. Mahmoud Asrar was the artist. Eve Scorsina is the color artist, and VC's Corey Pettit was the letterer. Check it out, X-Men Red #1. We still have some left here. Otherwise, at your local LCS, your little comic shop. It's going to be a hot thing. I have a feeling they're going to sell out throughout the weekend, and they'll probably end up going to a second print as it starts making the rounds. I will be honest, the art to me was a little okay. You know, I'm not saying it's bad, because they draw way better than I ever could. But, you know, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I don't know, I guess it just didn't strike chord with me. So art is completely subjective. You know, anybody, what I like is not what you like.
Yeah.
What you like, you know what I mean? So it's all different. But to me, I was just like, but maybe it'll get tightened up. But who am I? I'm no artist, I'll tell you that.
You're Dan.
One book. I'd like to see your proof of that.
Where's your license?
License?
That's proof.
Why do you need a license?
You need to see your license and proof of insurance.
What are you, a cop?
Yes!
Anyway, one book that sold out really fast because of the speculation station. This book had a ending that had a thing that people think is going to be worth money. Haha, it won't be, but good luck with that. Amazing Spider-Man number 795. It is part 1 of the threat level Red. So basically, if you've been reading Spider-Man, in the background, there's been lots of little things that have been going on as far as Peter lost his company. Him and Bobby Morse are now no longer together. He has moved out of her apartment, and he's moved into a very small little studio apartment in New York. He's basically back to being basic Peter Parker. He's got a job at Daily Planet, trying to find time to be Spider-Man, yada yada. Well, in the background of that, we've also had some things going on with Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn, obviously, is the Green Goblin. We finally find out exactly what he's been after this whole time and what he wants to do. And let's just put it this way, it's a bit terrifying. This also guest stars Loki, who is the Sorcerer Supreme right now. If you haven't been reading Doctor Strange, man, I would really suggest reading Doctor Strange. It's been absolutely great. So it guest stars Loki and his assistant. Really great Spider-Man story. Good jumping on point for everybody. It also is another excuse just to go back and read the other Spider-Man stuff because it's all been really good. I'll just be honest with that.
He looks so grumpy.
He's cold, man. It's cold in New York City this time of year. Dan Slott and Christos Gage. By the way, this is the start of Dan Slott's final arc on Amazing Spider-Man, and then he will be gone. I know he's been a point of contention for a lot of Spider-Man fans, but you still have to recognize that he's been doing the book for over a decade. That's pretty damn impressive. And he's had ups, he's had downs. Everyone's like, oh, the sales tank, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. If the sales were super bad in this book, he wouldn't have been allowed to write it for as long as he did. Things go up, things go down. Not all of them are winners.
It happens.
Some can be stinkers. Some resonate more with one story than others, you know what I mean? It's still pretty impressive, so hats off to you, Dan Slott. It's an impressive run, and it's a great thing to have on a resume. So Dan Slott and Christos Gage are the writers. Mike Hawthorne is the penciler. Terry Pallett is the inker. Marta Gracia is the color artist. And VC's Joe Carmagna is the letterer. So yeah, check it out. Good jumping on point. Spider-Man doing Spider-Man stuff. So when Marvel was doing Legacy, they said, hey, guess what? We're not going to do any more big events. Well, we all knew that was going to be BS because they had the Infinity War movie coming. So, of course, they got to do something to tie in the Infinity War because it's what they do. So we're getting in an Infinity book. You can't talk about the Infinity. Oh, am I boring you?
No, I've just been working all day. I'm tired.
Okay, fine. Let's shut it down. No, okay. Just kidding. So, Infinity Countdown #1, Adam Warlock, because you cannot have an Infinity War without a Warlock. Let's just face it. You know what I'm saying? To me, whenever anybody asks me to describe Adam Warlock, I'm always like, he is like the Ziggy Stardust of the Marvel Universe. He's just kind of a weird space character, and he never really resonated much with me, but I know some people who really love the galactic stuff for Marvel, and they really like Adam Warlock. This does it a lot of justice. It talks about his past stuff, because his past can be very confusing. This book goes through the past with also kind of showing where he's been this whole time and why he was there. Guest stars Kang the Conqueror, who's one of my favorite villains, and it puts him on the path to what is eventually going to be Infinity, which is going to be, you know, all the different stones have been showing up throughout the Marvel Legacy events, and we're going to put them all together and see where it goes. I'm hoping it's very, very good, but so far, I will say this, for a guy who has no dog in the fight when it comes to Adam Warlock, I really enjoyed this book. I really, really did. And Mike Allred is the artist on it, and it fits this absolutely perfect. I should say Mike and Laura Allred, husband and wife team, killing this book. Jerry Duggan was the writer. VC's Corey Pettit is the letterer. So it's a great little kickoff event. It looks like there's going to be quite a few books for this event. Unfortunately, I know people are like, groan. I don't think you need all the side stuff if you don't want it. So if you're just looking for the main thing, it's just going to be called Infinity Countdown. It's going to be 5 issues. But it's going to take us all the way through July. So it's going to be a while again. In my opinion, that just seems long. It's going to be 5 months, but hey, if they stay on track, 5 months I guess is okay. But we're also going to get Infinity Countdown Captain Marvel, Infinity Countdown Daredevil, Infinity Countdown Black Widow, Champions, Darkhawk. So there's going to be a bunch of different books. Do you need them all? We'll have to wait and see. I really feel like you probably don't. But so far, so good. If you're looking for something just different or you like the galactic stuff, you can definitely check that out for sure. Does that wrap up Marvel stuff?
I don't have any more Marvel in my pile.
Okay. Wraps up Marvel stuff. Why don't we... you got indie stuff, right?
Yeah.
Let's do indie. There's a lot of DC, so let's just do indie and get it out of the way. And we'll do DC. Okay. Kick it off. Okay. She read 2 books that I don't normally read, so I kind of want to hear what she's got to say with these 2.
Well, the first one I read was Snot Girl.
Snot Girl. What's the premise of Snot Girl, for those of you not in the know?
I actually have never read Snot Girl before this issue.
We're all going to learn together, folks. Look at this, man.
Before reading this, from what people would describe Snot Girl to me as she is a famous model who has horrible allergies and is just kind of, she's
probably
also
allergic to all the cocaine she does.
She's also a bit of a snotty kind of person.
Oh, I get it, because of the snot.
No,
Wink.
She's just kind of a jerk.
Ding.
She tries to be friendly. She has her moments. And it's really just kind of her life and trying to deal with things. I do know that there was a storyline a while ago about a murder that she was, like, had to go through, which was a bad situation.
So this is a book about a model who's really smart, kind of snotty to people, but really tries hard to be better. This is like my life on a page. I'm just saying. Like, This book speaks to me, just like it speaks to you at home.
Well, it's like, I have been kind of looking at the Snot Girl comics to read them for a while, and it's been on hiatus. Well, it came back, and I noticed that this was part 1, so I figured, why not just start here? It's like...
the door's locked. Lights are off for a reason.
It's like... What time is it?
It's like 7:30.
Oh my god. Okay.
Probably saw the hours for someone pushed on the door. It happens from time to time. I see 2 idiots in here, and... You're like, you're open, right? I'm like, no, the lights are off for a reason, but thanks.
Okay.
Come back tomorrow.
Well, this one starts off, they're going to this kind of convention in a way.
It's kind of it's like, in theory, it's a convention?
It's called,
is it a dream convention?
It's Thanksstravaganza. So they invite... Thanksstravaganza?
So it's like
Thanksstravaganza. It's from what they described, basically, they bring together people who have large followings on the internet and are semi-famous to famous. They invite them to come, and they have a
sounds like
beauty convention, kind of.
I like how you did it like that. The beauty convention. The beauty convention. We gotta do that here.
She's going with a few of her friends, one of which she's really trying to be friends with, but doesn't...
Friends? They're just not really her friends?
It's hard to explain.
She's trying to figure out if they're for her friends? Are they made out of snot people?
No!
She probably makes like little snot people, like the Darkness in the 90s where you had the little people that followed them around, only these ones are like snot. They're like...
No, there's what they call her cute girl. She's the shorter of the ones. She's adorable.
He's an eye.
They're friends, and then there's one other girl who she's trying to be friends with, but is kind of struggling, and then the last girl she hates. But they have a touching moment, which was kind of cute, especially seeing as I'm not fully invested in these characters, so making me feel emotions for them. Good job. In a singular issue, I felt emotions. Good job, guys.
Here's the thing I never understood about Snot Girl when the thing first started coming out. Why, if you're making promotional items, why did you not make little packages of tissues? You know what I mean? Like the little travel size ones? Those couldn't have been too expensive. Like, why wouldn't you do that? That to me was like, that would have been a home run.
That would have been good.
Yeah. See, this is why I should be the boss of everything.
Well, anyway, I feel like I enjoyed this specific story.
So other people could check it out and be able to jump in at issue 6. I think we have the first trade here, too.
This is issue 9.
Oh, wow. Okay, there might be 2 trades ahead of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like if you don't want to start off with the trades and you just want to read a brief history of the character and then start up with this, I feel like that would work.
Okay.
And then go back and read the trades later if you want to.
It's all a good little jumping on point, which is what we're all about here. We love jumping on points here. That's what we do.
And one of the things I love most that I've always kind of admired about Snot Girl is the art. It's got this almost cartoony, but it's not like a kid's cartoon. It
reminds me of Babs Tar a little bit.
It's like... Yeah, a little bit. It's very interesting, and I love
colorful.
it.
Very colorful.
The color palette is beautiful.
Yeah,
if you want to... Yeah. I really enjoyed this issue.
It's by Brian Lee O'Malley and Leslie Hung. Rachel Cohen did the colors, and Maria Domo did the lettering. Color flatting assist was from Studio J-Fish, which I'm assuming the J stands for jelly. Or not.
I like the character
maybe
Cute
it's
Girl.
Jerome Fish.
She's adorable.
One book that I read, this is from the Berger Books line at Dark Horse. Karen Berger for a long time was the person that piloted Vertigo Comics at DC to like its super height, man. Back when things like Sandman, Preacher, all those things that became huge hits for them. That was back when she was running the show over there. Dark Horse decided to bring her back into comics and give her her own line, so she's doing lots of different thought-provoking things. This one was done by Matt Johnson and Warren Pleece. It's called Incognito Renaissance. I know, funny title. But it's kind of an important book, mainly because it takes place in the 20s, like the Roaring 20s, where, a lot of segregation, black man was not treated very well. This gentleman gets invited to a party by a friend of his with the uptown white, folks, and they're interested in black people and whatnot. So this guy is a reporter, but he's also a light-skinned black guy. So of course, whenever the white people are around him, they start talking about their real bullshit comes out, because they think he's they think he's one of them. So, he sees the other side of things, and his buddies are always like, man, with your light skin, you could pass off as black. You should totally do that. And he's like, no, I don't want to forget where I came from, and yada, yada.
Pass off as white?
Well, because he's a light-skinned black guy.
Oh, okay.
So whenever the white people are around him, they assume he's white.
Got it.
So they start talking their racist bullshit to him because they assume that he's white.
I'm on the train tracks now.
Right, yeah, sorry. So, hence the incognito thing, So there's something that happens at this party, and the cops have to end up being called and show up, and they immediately don't think that he's involved because, they think he's white too. And it goes from there. It's this big kind of mystery, just because one of the party guests is a black man dies, and he feels like nobody's taking it seriously at all. And because he's a reporter, I think he's going to start delving into it a little bit. It's a black and white book, which is awesome.
Yes, I know.
Which to me is very important for the whole story, opposed to getting the color palette a little off for the skin tones. I don't think it would be as powerful as of a book. It very much talks about the racism in this country. I know a lot of people are like, keep your politics out of my books. That's fine. This is an indie book. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. That's the whole point of it.
Yes.
But I would check it out if you're looking for something indie. I only have one copy left. We didn't order heavy on it, just because there's only so much money to go around as far as ordering comics, and we've been cutting back on a lot of stuff. But I would check it out if you're looking for something a little newer. I think it's going to be getting some good write-ups kind of across the board. I already said script was done by Matt Johnson, the arts by Warren Pleece, not Warren Peace, Warren Pleece, and letters by Clem Robbins. And check it out. Very good so far. Very good so far. I'm glad I read it. Did you grab that one?
Okay. So, this one was kind of a weird pick for me, because I actually am not a huge... I haven't read a whole lot from this kind of...
It's from Aspen. Aspen was Michael Turner's imprint that he started until he unfortunately died of cancer several years ago. Very nice guy who did some phenomenal art, and was very well respected in the comic book world. But his imprint's still going. I'm not sure who's running it or anything. They still publish. They don't publish a ton of stuff, but they still publish some things.
Not a lot of things by them have caught my eye, and I saw this today, and I figured, why not give it a try? It's called Portal Bound.
It's number 0, so it's a primer book.
Yes. It is. I did notice that it's shorter.
Right.
Than
they only
everything
gave you about
else
15 pages, but it's only $1.50. So that's a great thing. So for members, keep in mind it's $1.50, and then minus that.
Off.
They actually did a 15-cent book last week too. Was it last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, Aspen published a 15-cent book. Let that sink in. 15 cents.
That's
so for
awesome.
members, it was 25% off. People were buying this thing just because it was practically free.
Yeah.
Aspen definitely was not making any money on that deal. It's not humanly possible for them to publish a book for 15 cents. They lose money whenever they do quarter books, and it's always funny because it's the indie guys that are doing quarter books to get people excited about books.
Yeah.
Marvel and DC worry about getting new readers, but they never do anything for people like that.
When
Marvel
they do,
still has the
thicker
$4.99
books or something, being like, oh, check out all this cool new stuff, they make it $7.
Yep,
like, seriously?
$8. Marvel will have every now and again a $10 Deadpool book because they think they can keep going to that well for some reason.
Yeah.
If you want people excited about your book, if you think it's going to be that good, but you're afraid about getting readership, take the hit, man.
Yeah.
Take the hit and put it out for a quarter and watch people snatch that thing up. Well, that's the thing, is every company, they operate separate from Disney and all this other stuff. So I get it,
but still.
But no, you are 100% truthful, though. They are not going to go out of business anytime soon.
Solely because a singular, 25-cent book. Come on, guys.
Right.
Well, so this one, at first when I started reading, I thought it was an all-age kind of kids comic, just because the art is a little bit...
And the protagonist looks like he's only about 12, huh?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't look that young, actually, when you get into the
art?
story.
Okay.
The cover art
Still
just
in high
looks
school, though,
way...
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He is a high schooler. When you start it off, it's kind of two sides of a story. This young princess from a, obviously, fantasy world somewhere, is being taken out of the castle by her uncle because something is wrong with her father, the king. Okay. There's something
so it's a little bit of
messed up.
Fantasy-ish.
They keep saying, a monster, not fully in... They haven't given away what's the matter at the moment. Well, for her protection, her uncle takes her out, and then it also follows this young boy who's in high school, a little socially awkward, kind of reminds me of Spiderman. Him and his friend...
Spider-Dan.
Yeah, Spider-Dan. Him and his friend are going to this concert, and there's supposedly a portal that this princess is going to go to, and they kind of allude to that. Obviously, these two characters are going to meet sometime in the future.
Well, hence the cover.
Yeah. They basically make it completely obvious within the, first 2 pages that these two are going to end up having to work together somehow. And I don't know yet.
They're laying it on thick.
Some of the exposition, I actually enjoyed how they played it out, introducing the main guy character. I believe his name was Eli? Yes.
It's a great little sequence.
I know, it's so cute. I love the art and it's precious. But, introducing him is all in his head. He's trying to ask out a girl he likes. So it has a little thought bubble of how he's going to ask her out, and that's how they introduce him. The exposition was laid out really well. The story seems pretty interesting, and I want to learn more about the lore of this, fantasy world.
Okay, so you're sold.
Because they have, giant robot wolf dog things. I love it.
There you go. So they're mixing in a little bit of high fantasy and a little bit of cyberpunkish kind of stuff. Great.
It's very... The coloring on it is beautiful.
Yeah, the coloring's really nice.
It is a really cool... I think is a cool story idea.
So far so good. Like she said, it's only it's not an entire story. So the number 1 looks like it'll be coming soon. So what was it again? Portal Bound by Aspen. It's written by Mark Roslin and Gabe Carrasco. Alex Arizmendi did the pencils and digital inks. Wes Hartman did the colors, and Zen did the lettering.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out myself. I'll probably check it out tomorrow.
Yeah,
looked pretty cool
definitely.
So far. Like the little digital crown they gave somebody. That's kind of dope. Which would make sense, because crowns are very heavy. They make your head hurt.
Sure. Yeah, that's what makes sense.
One last in the indie thing is Image Comics. Yvonne Brandon, Asad Ribic with Nick Klein did a book called Versus. Versus is very much a think like Thor Ragnarok with the gladiators in there. But think of it more in the future where it's just very techno-ish and people, everything's being recorded by cameras and these guys are trying to get back to the battle to be more famous. That's all I took from the first one because it doesn't lay out everything for you. It just is very much like, hey, there's this war thing going on, but for some reason it's filmed and, there's commercial breaks and stuff. It's really strange, but these guys are really into it. And it does a lot of little time jumps, so it can be a little confusing. But I can tell you, man, it grabbed me right away because Asad Ribic is just absolutely killing it on the art. And I'm very interested to see exactly what this world is and why these gladiators are putting themselves in a line. It's almost like someone took a game of Overwatch and made it real, and everyone's super stoked about it. So I haven't seen the interviews to see if that's where these guys got their idea from, but it very much feels like a Overwatch PlayerUnknown kind of thing. But very, very cool, especially with the way they do some of the graphic design layout. And like I said, it's a little confusing, but it's very, very fun so far, man. So I can't wait for the second one. Lady. Yeah, a little Gamora-ish there.
I know.
But it's called Versus, and like I said, I'm not doing it much justice, just because, like I said, it's a little confusing at first, but I would check it out if you're looking for something new. Yvonne Brandon did the script. Art was by Asad Ribic. Color art was by Nick Klein. Lettering was by Aditya Bidikar. Graphics and design done by Tom Muller. Sorry. I don't think it's Mueller because it doesn't have the little dot thing. So yeah, a little bit of cyberpunkish, a little bit of like if Overwatch was real kind of deal.
That's cool.
Really fun.
We sold out of that one because I didn't see it on the shelf.
Oh, okay. So people were checking out. Well, we got one left because I brought mine in from the reader copy there. DC stuff, there's a whole bunch of stuff that started as far as part ones. But the first thing I want to talk about, because we seem to talk about it every single show, Batman. So one of the only reasons that I want to talk about Batman, and it's literally just one page, I don't even really want to talk about the story. Batman and Wonder Woman are trapped in a different dimension, and they start talking about stuff that they miss about our dimension because of years have gone by, because it's a weird time difference thing. And Batman talks about how he misses his dog. He misses his dog. He misses his dog Ace. Ace the Bat Hound. And Wonder Woman goes, "I miss my kangaroo." Now, for anybody out there that didn't realize, that is a 100% deep cut. Because Wonder Woman back in the day had a sidekick helper that was a kangaroo named Jumpa. That is a real thing that actually happened. And it's been recognized in the Rebirth universe. Jumpa is back. And I am so happy about this that is at least acknowledged. And I'm wondering if somehow, some way, they will get Jumpa to pop up in one of these books. Literally jump onto the page and then jump off the page into your hearts. Yes, I said it. I did. Jumpa forever.
I quit.
Jumpa forever. Yeah. So anyway, check out Batman 40 because I mentioned Jumpa.
I'm on the page and I am immediately happy.
It's the best thing ever. Batman 40.
Do you want to do props or no?
Yeah, it's like Tom King and some other people.
It's the same props as last time, I'm pretty sure.
Tom King, Joel Jones, Jordy Belair, Clayton Cowles. Same people as last time.
Same people as last time. Beautiful.
Sometimes you just need to go back and watch the show, Go watch the other ones.
Go watch the last episode.
There's some good ones and there's some... Oof. No, just kidding. They're all great. The only ones that stink are the ones I did by myself, because I was like, not wanting to do it. Superman number 40. Kind of amazing we're getting into issue 40s now for Rebirth, man. I mean, the time is just flying by, I still look great, but I mean, other people are starting to get old. Superman number 40. It is called The Last Days. So what is this? It's basically Superman and Jonathan Kent, Superboy, are hanging out in the Fortress of Solitude, my bad. They're hanging out, and John's just starting to learn about his Kryptonian heritage, and Superman had set up, because people forget that Superman's all about the science. He's got that Kryptonian science thing going on for being from the House of El. So they get this alert that happens, and the alert is telling Superman that there's a planet that's about to go into the same kind of core failure that happened to Krypton. So he decides that he wants to go and save it, with Jonathan being like, "Hey, I want to come too. I'm a hero now." Oh. And Superman's very apprehensive about taking him, but he's like, "Fine, I will take him to this planet." And then they go to the planet, and they're going to try to stop this world from exploding. They arrive there only to find out that the people who live there are not very receptive for them being there, and they don't really care about being saved. My only complaint about this is that Green Lanterns did a story just like this about 4 or 5 issues ago. I know it's the same premise. I'm assuming everything will be completely different and how they take care of things. That's perfectly fine. But the plot is almost identical so far. So that's my only complaint. I love the book. I continue to love Superman. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's great that we're getting a Superboy, Superman team up. And it's very much a straightforward Superboy, Superman team up. They're the only ones on this planet that aren't, indigenous to it. And it goes from there. So it's fun to see Superman parenting a boy who's a very good kid in Jonathan. But, it's still parenting. Still got to kind of put the smack down every now and again. James Robinson did the story. Doug Mahnke did the pencils. Jamie Mendoza and Scott Hanna did the inks with Quill Quintana as well. Colors were by Rob Lay. Letters Victor Bogdanovich. With Mike Spencer. Great stuff. Good jumping on point for Superman. You do not need to know anything. If you want to read the story before that, it was a very heartfelt story that was a one-shot about Superman taking some disabled kids and flying them to the moon.
It was so cute.
Tears. It was oof. Right in the feels, let me tell you. Speaking of feels, Deathstroke's got a new book.
That is a segue.
Grinding them gears. Issue number 28 is Chinatown Part 1. Priest has been doing an exceptional job writing Deathstroke. Everything has been absolutely fantastic. If you read some of the previous issues, you know that Deathstroke was trying to turn good, like 100% good. He started a little team called Defiance, but in typical Deathstroke fashion, he completely screwed the pooch.
He defied against them?
Well, not even that. It's just the way he does things is going to be his way. He doesn't explain it. He's just going to do it. And it rubs people the wrong way, which it should, because when you're in a team, you should communicate. So once again, now Deathstroke is back on his own, but we're also getting more stories with Jericho and Rose, who are his estranged children, and kind of going from there. It's a good jumping on point. You don't need to know a ton of stuff prior. You know, you can jump on this and be like, okay, Deathstroke's doing Deathstroke things, you know, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to read the stuff prior, it will help a little bit. But if you're looking for something different, as far as, you know, you've always wanted to check out Deathstroke, now's the time. It is a Part 1. You can check it out. If you like the writing style, then go back and check out some of the other stuff that Priest has done. Really fun so far, man. I've been absolutely adoring this stuff. Between this and the Justice League book, man, Christopher Priest is on fire. Priest did the story. Diogenes Neves did the pencils. Trevor Scott did the inks. Jeremy Cox did the colors. Duran Bennett did the lettering. So yes, Deathstroke. Check it out. He does mercenary stuff. He's got swords and whatnot. Green Lanterns has a good jumping on point, and this is a straight up great jumping on point because they don't even really mention anything in the previous stories. Superhuman Trafficking Part 1. Just like it sounds.
Okay.
Essentially, heroes are being kidnapped across the galaxy and being put to nefarious deeds, essentially. It's kind of funny how it starts. Baz was using a superhero app. I gotta remember the name of it. Oh, jeez. So it's kind of like Tinder, only for superheroes. And, oh, goddamn. I cannot believe I just forgot what the hell it was.
Probably on the next page?
Caper. That's the name of it. Yeah, it's called Caper. That's a superhero app. Basically what it is so that heroes can hook up with other heroes without revealing their secret identities and stuff, because it's really hard to date when you're a superhero. And it kind of goes from there. So Baz had a one-night stand with this one girl, and she wasn't really into him afterwards, mainly because he was living at the Green Lantern Corps' little house that orbits the planet, and she just wasn't into a dude that doesn't have his own apartment and whatnot.
Totally get it.
And but unfortunately, the woman disappears, and her roommate, or like friend, who just happens to be the Bulleteer from like I haven't seen the Bulleteer mentioned in anything in a long time. But she talks to Baz and is like, hey, you know, you hooked up with my friend. She's kind of gone missing. Any way you can help me out? And it kind of goes from there. Really fun. Really, really fun. And we still are getting that good buddy cop drama stuff that we've been getting from the Green Lanterns book with Baz and Jessica Cruz. And obviously, you know, Baz being from Dearborn, you got to support the hometown boys. So awesome jumping on point from Green Lanterns. If you haven't been checking out this book, you should. I actually like this book better than the Hal Jordan book. Don't get me wrong, I love the Hal Jordan book, but it's just nice to see two Green Lantern books both doing very, very well. So yeah. Any last words? Any parting shots?
I just want to say that capers, like I understand where they were going with it, with like cape, like superhero, but all I can think are capers, like the food.
Well, it's caper.
Because capers are my favorite type of food.
Well, I thought it was weird that it's caper, which rhymes like raper.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That was the first thing that I was like, raper? Wait, caper? Ooh.
My mind goes straight to food.
You might want to back away slowly from that, DC.
Yeah. A little questionable there.
And the book's called Superhuman Trafficking, too, which is hilarious. Writer Tim Seeley, pencils Barnaby Bagenda. Bagenda? Sure. Inks by Mike Gray, colorist Ulysses Areola. I'm sorry, man. First off, I'm sorry your parents named you Ulysses. That's rough. But your last name means nipple. That's a rough childhood. That is a rough childhood. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong, man. We love it. Book looks great. The colors are absolutely fantastic. You are a hell of a person. But holy crap, did you get picked on a lot? All right, Ulysses Nipple. Letter was done by Dave Sharp. This guy's going to find me at a con one day and just punch me out. It's going to be so funny. Well deserved. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Nipple. Anyway, though.
Stop it. You're so awful.
It's funny. Hey, I got made fun of as a kid, too, for being incredibly handsome.
That
was a real thing.
Sound right.
It totally was a real thing. It was tough,
I
man.
highly doubt that.
Tough being me. That is your Warp 9 wrap-up for the week of 2/9, 2/8, something like that. This will post tomorrow.
2/8.
It'll be like 2/9.
Yeah, wait, no, it was 2/7 because Wednesday was the 7th.
Today's Thursday. It's fine. We're coming to you from the past. So yeah, if you got any questions for us, you know where to find us. We're at Warp 9 Comics, 14 Mile Main Street in downtown Clawson. You got any questions for the show, you can email us at extrasecretgaming@gmail.com. If you want to hear me talk about stuff that's not just comics, I do have a podcast called Extra Secret Podcast that I do with E.A. Henson. He's a great dude. You can follow us on Twitter at Extra Secret Cast, at Twitter, whatever it is, twitter.com, whatever the fuck. Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitch at FENRIR_ESG. It's on the Twitch TV website. I will be getting back to streaming here when the weather's not so crappy. Because every time I try to go to think I'm going to stream, I either forget something that I was going to bring, or I look outside and we're getting like 3 or 4 inches of snow, or it's like negative wind chill, and I'm afraid my car won't start by the time I get out of here. So I'm going to get back to it. If I don't get back to it in the winter, it'll definitely be the spring, and then we're going to hit the ground rolling. Because you're going to help me out on that too if you ever feel like playing some video games on stream.
Okay.
Because nobody wants to listen to me. They just want to see the red-haired girl. So, just the way it is. So, anyway, though, thank you. Appreciate you tuning in.
Bye,
and,
guys.
yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe on the YouTube. Bye-bye. Bye.